Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about the MCU reveal, the big nothing burger reveal yesterday. Wasn't that lame?
It was so stupid. Like every 15 minutes, they put a new chair out. I'm like, I made a joke. I said, who came up with this idea? Like, did you want people to hate the MCU even more? Because that's all you did.
Yeah, they had initially millions of people, I guess, watching this live stream, and then it went down to like thousands. And then by the end of it, like nobody cared, right? Because they basically just revealed a bunch of people that were going to be in Doomsday that we already knew about. Some of them we didn't care about, and also spoiler, several of the Fox X-Men are going to be in it too. But we already knew that. That was a rumor. That was that they were going to have the X-Men in Doomsday leading into Secret Wars, and that Secret Wars actually will have the Fantastic Four and the X-Men and then all the Marvel characters, right? So I think that's going to be the big one. But it was a huge, I thought it was a huge disappointment because a lot of people were expecting a big reveal at the end with like, people were thinking Tom Cruise was going to be another Iron Man or something. And here it was like, oh, look, it's Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, we already know.
Like, we know.
We know. So that's not the big story, though. The big story is that people are mad. People are mad because they're well, by people I mean comic book journalists are mad because there weren't enough women.
Yeah, I saw that.
There's no Captain Marvel.
There's like yeah, well, I mean, audiences are grateful unless they just aren't announcing everybody yet. I mean, I was actually kind of happy about that.
I think.
Ms. Marvel's not going to be shoved in there too?
She's not there either.
Yet?
No photon. No. Yet. I think for Secret Wars, yes. But this is going to be like Infinity War, where it's going to be a lead into a bigger battle, whatever. And there are rumors about that too. They think that they're going to have multiverse versions again of Spider-Man. They're going to throw everything at it or whatever. And I'm like, if they do not,
it's going to overly complicate it, and people aren't going to care.
So I want to talk about that too, because this to me, the cameos that they keep doing and the Easter eggs, while it's nice when done well and it's kind of like a nice little nod to the comics or whatever, this to me feels like a follow-up to Multiverse of Madness, where it's like we're just going to throw characters into the mix just because they're there. And same with Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, I liked Deadpool and Wolverine for what it was, and given the jokey nature of it, it kind of made sense. But I'm also like, do we need every Marvel character that's ever existed in any timeline ever all in one place? I mean,
plus the cost. I mean, just the cost for that. This is the cost for this one, but the cost for even more. You know how much money that would have to make for you to even just break even to pay for all these people?
Well, freaking Robert Downey Jr.'s supposedly $200 million just for him.
That much?
So,
was it that high?
It was, I heard it was like, or his deal
high.
might be worth that. Might be that they fronted him so much and then like he gets percentage. But here's the thing, like Disney is so desperate to get Marvel back to making billion-dollar bank again, because they looked at Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine and they're like, oh, well, let's just do more of that. People like those cameos, so let's throw all those characters into this movie. And
I just think it's going to overdo it.
I think it's going to overdo it, but we're going to talk mostly about how journalists are angry that there aren't enough women, that Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel have been shut out of this movie. Don't worry, guys. I'm sure Secret Wars is going to have plenty of them, or at least plenty of She-Hulk.
They're joking. Yeah, they better not. She-Hulk's bomb. No one wants more of it.
Now, here's the thing. I don't actually mind the actress that much. She was in The Monkey, and she was actually pretty good. But she
was kind of insufferable when it came to She-Hulk, though. I mean, in her interviews and stuff. I mean, I don't think She-Hulk was as bad as what some people said, but it wasn't good either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I hear you. So we'll talk about that. And then speaking of women in comics and stuff, we'll talk about your old friend Gail Simone.
Oh yeah.
We'll talk about her at the end here. That she's not real happy with male writers and female characters. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe. We're into it pretty far. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys, wherever you found this episode. Thank you very much for your support. Can we get a woohoo?
Woohoo?
You're a woman in comics, so
also Ginger. What about it? About women in the show? I just think that they brought Mystique back. And I think, Rebecca Romaine or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't mind that choice. And who else they have that was a woman? And Vesta Kirby, I've yet to decide on that one. I don't think I just don't know if I think she's the right choice for the Fantastic Four character. And then they have Letitia Wright was listed for Shuri.
Yeah,
was
Letitia
there other
Wright.
women? I don't think was there anybody else?
I'm looking. Let's see. We got Letitia Wright.
Yeah. It's mostly dudes. It is mostly dudes. Yeah,
Namor.
Yeah, he was supposed to be in trouble.
Yeah, so Jonathan Majors can't come back as Kang, right? But the guy that played I'm sorry, it's Namor. Maybe they'll kill him off and they'll bring proper Namor into the universe, the MCU.
I mean, it was obviously all the characters from Thunderbolts. Oh no, that they have what's her name? Florence Pugh is in there. So it's all the characters from Thunderbolts, the characters from some of the characters from X-Men in the 90s, all the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. I am happy about Kelsey Grammer's Beast. He was like, I mean, you want to talk about perfect casting choices for X-Men. Hugh Jackman, Kelsey Grammer, and Patrick Stewart were like comic book accurate, very, and unfortunately Kelsey Grammer was wasted in X-Men 3 because who's not being called back is Ellen Page. Can I say that? Or is it
no, it's Elliot now.
Oh, Elliot. I think it was Elton.
It's kind of hard to play Kitty Pryde when you supposedly have a dick now. So,
so all the Fantastic Four. I mean, people are like, oh my God, guys, the Fantastic Four are going to be in a movie about Doctor Doom. I'm like, yeah.
I mean, people weren't saying that, were they?
Yeah. I'm like, do you know where Doctor Doom came from? Do you know?
I can't believe people are that dumb.
Well, we have a lot of tourists, right? They don't know. They're like, oh my God.
Like, how they not?
The Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom in the same place at the same time. Oh my God. I
heard that sometimes, a lot of times, in the Superman movies, Lex Luthor's there too. Can you believe it?
I know, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot about her too. Ghost.
Everybody's forgotten about her.
Yeah, I thought she was healed at the end of the.
I don't know. Loki's
Tom Hiddleston,
back.
Loki's back.
So we can do some multiverse shit. Patrick Stewart, who God bless Patrick Stewart, but he is really getting up there. He's like in his early 90s now.
No, 84 it said.
What? He's 84. I thought he was like 90.
And Ian McKellen's 85.
Okay, well, that's a surprise. I thought Patrick Stewart was like 90 because Patrick Stewart, again, freaking love Patrick Stewart, right? Not dissing Patrick Stewart, but this guy looked 70 when he was 45. When he was on Next Generation, I'm sitting there like watching him on Next Generation. I'm like, he's not much older than I am in this episode. And I'm like, God, he looks like he's almost 70. It's like, oh my God. But he was having a hard time. You could tell in Picard season 3, but they'll probably just like CGI everybody. They've got Nightcrawler back, which I think is cool.
Oh, I thought it was funny. Somebody did say, what? You're going to bring Avengers and they're not going to bring Mystique? And people are like, yeah, they announced Mystique. It's just not Jennifer
the one
Lawrence.
You wanted.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think she wants anything to do with it because she was complaining about the makeup and she didn't even have as much makeup as Rebecca Romijn had. But Channing Tatum, so we get Gambit again. So I love this. Now they're giving us like basically 90s X-Men, kind of. But
and the problem is the tease to get rid of them, or to off them, or to change them, or whatever they're going to do.
Yeah, but no Hugh Jackman. People were very disappointed.
Well, or is that one of the ones that they're going to announce later?
So
are they going to bring him into
Comic-Con
Secret
or
Wars?
something?
Yeah.
Well, Secret Wars. Now I'm telling you one thing. If they don't, there's a couple potential missed opportunities here. One. If they do not bring David Hasselhoff in as the Beyonder, I'm going to be incredibly disappointed. Because hold on one second, because this is the Beyonder from Secret Wars in the comics.
Okay. This
is David Hasselhoff in the Guardians of the Galaxy video.
Oh, I know, but then they already had him in Guardians of the Galaxy, though.
Yeah, I'm going to be very disappointed.
It's like we need the Hoff. Come on.
Yeah, we do. He needs to be the Beyonder, and we also have to get the origin of MCU Venom, because that was a big deal in Secret Wars. That's where Spider-Man got his black costume. But you know what? It's the MCU. They're not gonna do anything the right way, right? Instead, we're gonna get a bunch of She-Hulk. But so this comes from Bleeding Cool. This is Caitlin Booth, who I think she used to write for like one of those gaming news outlets.
That sounds familiar.
But she says the Doomsday cast reveal faces backlash does it? Over lack of women in TV heroes. I've just heard people were bored as hell. Only
I didn't see much backlash.
I didn't see much backlash. I saw people getting bored that it was like, what, 4 hours?
Yeah, the backlash was all the damn chairs every 15 minutes. That was the backlash. Who thought this was a good idea? People are already losing interest in the MCU. And then your answer was, let's do a 6-hour, whatever hour video with chairs. Yeah. And you thought that was going to make it better? I mean, fire that person.
So the Avengers Doomsday cast is very male and very movie focused.
Yeah, you know why, honey? You know why? Because they want people to actually show up.
Yeah.
And this is coming from a woman. They want people to actually show up. That's why it is. And they kept characters that they know appeal to the core demographic. And people will come in for, and Letitia Wright's the new Black Panther, anyway, or what, I don't know if she still is, but wasn't she in the movie?
Yeah, there's a rumor that like they're going to age up T'Challa's son and they're going to have him take over. And
I don't know. But no idea. They're doing it because they want people to show up. And that doesn't mean that we have been given all the announcements yet. They might have other people that they haven't announced. We don't know.
Super secret cameo, so no Daredevil, no She-Hulk in this one. No Captain Marvel. Wasn't she supposed to be? Like, they sidelined her in Endgame. She got flicked like a booger by Thanos. But no Scarlet Witch either. There's no Scarlet Witch. There's no Vision. I'm kind of confused here as to what's going on. No Moon Knight, no Kate Bishop. Nobody cares. But where's all this backlash? Is it just her saying it? Because I'm not seeing. Show me some examples from social media. On top of all that, as the Doomsday live stream continued, it was becoming more and more apparent that this is going to be a very male-heavy team. Despite some of the most powerful heroes in the MCU canonically being women. Out of the 27 announced, only 5 of them were women.
Right. Vanessa Kirby ties into the Fantastic Four coming out this year. Florence Pugh ties into, the Thunderbolts. And so does that Hannah John. Yeah, Ghost coming out this year. And since they're bringing in the X-Men, that's why we have Rebecca Romijn.
Yeah. The only women on the battlefield so far, there was a large push to even out the gender disparity as we headed into the end of Infinity Saga. But it seems like we've taken several steps backwards in the last couple of years, considering
it's called box office failures, sweetie. That's why. It's called box office failures. Obviously, no one wants to see them.
They're not the Thunderbolts. They're the failures.
I'm just saying.
You're looking at them right now. Captain
I don't
Marvel
even know how
Prince.
Thunderbolts is going to do. I think it's going to do better than Captain. We have Captain America. The new Captain America and Falcon, and they're still going to be in this, even though their film did shit.
Yeah.
But that was they already were probably working on this before that movie bombed. It didn't do well. It was actually such a bad bomb. It only stayed in theaters 4 weeks, and they pulled it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that this movie just reeks of course correction. Like, it just feels like they're like, yeah, we know we done effed up. And what's going to bring the fans back? Ooh, Fantastic Four and the X-Men, but not all the X-Men and not Wolverine, but, some of the X-Men. We'll bring some of the X-Men back. And we'll cut out Captain Marvel. We'll cut out Ms. Marvel because people didn't like them. Obviously, they didn't perform at the box office. But yeah, there's a lot of it's the whole thing. Like, they had to pivot anyway because they were building up to Kang being the big bad, and then that didn't happen.
Hey, America Chavez disappeared, didn't she?
She's one of the most powerful characters. Like, she is ridiculously overpowered. So this is a girl that can punch a hole into other dimensions. And that would be a great, plot device to get rid of the bad guy. Just punch a hole in another dimension. Just push his ass through. That's all you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they can't.
Or her ass. You got to make sure you're fair.
Well, it's Dr. Doom. So
I know, but I'm just like, they're so mad about the heroes. Why aren't you pissed there's no female villains?
That's true.
You only want them to be heroes. Maybe girls, some girls resonate more as villains. How dare you? That's right. Heroes. No, that's Captain Marvel. She's a hero.
Oh my God. So I don't know. I gotta tell you the truth. I have zero. I mean, it depends on how Fantastic Four goes, but I have zero excitement for this. I really do not like the idea of Robert Downey Jr. being Dr. Doom. I'm not saying he can't play Dr. Doom, but I just have this nagging feeling he's going to be just evil Tony Stark. And that is not Dr. Doom. That's not Victor Von Doom. They did it in the comics a couple of times as like a thing, but like, I don't want that to be the Doctor Doom, one of the most powerful, most recognizable characters in all of Marvel Comics. Even people that have never picked up a Marvel comic can look at Doctor Doom and be like, oh, it's Doctor Doom. And,
right.
And
well,
they're
obviously,
gonna be like,
they didn't even know who he was a villain from.
yeah, but like they know who he is because he's been synonymous with, you know, Fantastic Four, obviously, and probably more well known than Spider-Man because he's been in the cartoons and stuff. But like, people know this character, and then they just turn him into evil Tony Stark, if that's where they're going with it, which I have a very strong feeling. I don't think he's more
well known than Spider-Man. I just want to put that out.
No. He's well known because of Spider-Man, because they had him.
Oh, because of Spider-Man. They said more well known than Spider-Man. I'm like, no. Okay, more well known because of Spider-Man.
He's more well known
very clearly.
I think because he was in the Spider-Man media, then because like Fantastic Four, like I personally love the Fantastic Four, but they've never been as popular as Spider-Man, right? So even though he's their villain, Doctor Doom is their primary antagonist, he's more well known as a Spider-Man villain because Spider-Man is like versus everybody. Like all the villains from all the other franchises, Spider-Man winds up fighting them at some point. So like he shares Kingpin with Daredevil, and he shares Doctor Doom with the Fantastic Four. How nice of him. There's plenty to go around.
But they aren't sharing screen time with these women.
They're not.
Look, again, this is about making money. In my opinion, it's about box office returns. These three especially didn't bring it. You know, they lost them like $200 and some million.
And they were, I'm going to be honest, they were probably planning to do more with them, but then that movie bombed, and they're like, well, we got to go back to square one because of Jonathan Majors anyway, so we might as well cut them out too, because nobody liked that movie. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know. There's just a lack of, like a palpable lack of excitement around anything Marvel now. Mm-hmm. Like people don't care, and they were annoyed by this.
You don't generate excitement with a 6-hour live stream aching to get your teeth pulled. I mean, it was literally like, I'm sitting here with these really ominous music for 15 minutes. I mean, no one was really watching it. They would like go away and come back and see who got added.
Yeah.
It was stupid. It was a really bad idea. I don't know what they were smoking on that one. And speaking of stupid people.
Gail Simone, who has you blocked, weirdly enough.
Yeah, well, that's because I got her ratioed.
You did get ratioed.
She started it. She came at me.
She usually does. I mean, let's be honest.
And it didn't go the way she wanted or she thought it would. And then she got her ass kicked, and then she blocked me.
Yeah, it's weird. You're blocked by Gail Simone. She's moved over to Blue Sky. Fandom Pulse has her.
But YouTube didn't work out for her.
I don't think it. Yeah, wasn't she doing? She was doing YouTube.
Yes,
She's doing like D&D unboxings, and like nobody was watching it.
She goes there because everybody will say what she wants to hear. It's the biggest echo chamber ever.
Yeah. But she's talking about, I guess, Uncanny X-Men writer Gail Simone claims male comic creators harmed female characters because of breakup or divorce. She's talking about Tom King because, like, there's so much projection and sadness in mainstream comics now, and it feels like these sad sacks writing these comics, and especially Tom King, like all those female characters are basically mommies to the male characters.
Well, I don't know, but she says, I think this is an interesting topic. If writers can write certain characters assholes for years, it really surprises if readers start to loathe those characters. Wait a minute. But here's what I don't understand. The market fell off like when you started changing everybody and making them somebody else, and that's when people didn't want it. It wasn't about the characters being assholes. It was about the fact that you were like making them suddenly gay, or everything was race bent or gender swapped or whatever. And I don't think her book sold particularly well either.
No, she was actually charged with bringing the X-Men back, and they failed miserably.
But wait, what's your excuse then? Because you're like, it's their job to make the people want to buy the books, but you didn't do it either. They loathe the characters too. So what's your excuse, Gail? What's your excuse?
So somebody asked her then, too many writers projecting their daddy issues onto characters. No, that is Tom King is mommy and daddy issues. Like, people hate Tom King comics. They just, I mean, somehow they're selling, I think, because of the titles he's working on, but like people really don't like his comics. She said, I do wonder about this sometimes, like the big secret of women in refrigerators. She's the one that came up with that.
Right. So she's going to push it to push herself.
Right. is how many of the writers of those stories had just gone through a breakup or a divorce. It was a lot. Some even confessed that was part of the reason for those stories. Yeah, because there was a whole thing with one of the Green Lanterns. It was Kyle Rayner. His girlfriend was killed and stuffed into a fridge. And we had a lot of, I am going to be honest, to be fair, there was a lot of that for a while. It was like, oh, let's kill or harm the girlfriend / wife, whatever, to motivate the male to become a more grimdark version of himself, because that's what sells now.
Okay. As a woman, I'm looking at this, and it's like, yeah, they're doing that because what would push someone to the edge, whether it be like girlfriend, wife, another family member, or something like that. It's something like that is what it's going to take. Most people are good people until you mess with somebody like that they love. And then they turn into they will turn into a dark version of themselves. So it could have been like their kid, or it could have been like their mom or something, or dad, or even anything that would have triggered them. So it's not an unfair response. I mean, it's overused, but if you have a really, really good person who's really, a righteous, upright and all that, it might take something that drastic to make them snap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just makes sense.
It does make sense. I would become a very bad person if something happened to you. I'd go dark.
I believe
dark
it, actually.
I probably would. I probably would. Anyway, yeah. So I mean, there we go, guys. Yeah, Gail Simone, she's right next to me now. We got Nightcrawler likes furries. Well, he doesn't have to wear a costume.
That's what she wrote. I love furry community. Their parties are magnificent. Did she write that?
Yes. He's also a devout Catholic, or was a devout Catholic. I don't know what they've done.
Oh, probably not now. I don't think Gail would like that too much.
I don't think anybody at Marvel likes that very much.
I'm like, those who live in glass houses. That's all I'm saying.
So there we go, guys. Not enough women in Doomsday.
That's because all the guys behind this movie had breakups, even the ones that are gay.
Right. Yeah. All the gay men. Yeah. Ian McKellen's just dealing with issues, and he doesn't want. No, I think it's more just look. It's numbers. Nobody wants.
No, it's about making people pay for people. You need a product people will pay for.
Don't worry. I think we'll have lots of women in the next Secret Wars movie. Maybe too much She-Hulk.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.